up, everybody? How you all doing? I hope you're having a great day. Right, I've got the code. Unwritten Rules of Fighting and Retribution. I think I've got this, the right one. Suggested by Kelly Schnell. I massively appreciate you, Kelly. I written down the unwritten rule of hockey. And it's come up the unwritten rule of fighting and retribution in ice hockey. I'm guessing this is the right one. If it's not, let me know. While I'm here, I'll give it a subscribe and a like. I used to love ice skating when I was younger. I've not done it loads. I've done it a few times, and I weren't too bad at it. But I haven't done it since my 20s. Never played hockey. But bits of hockey that I've seen on TV or internet over the years, when these fights, the only thing that comes to my mind, these fellas that know how to throw fists like that on a slippy bit of ground. Do you know when boxers train with like weighted gloves or whatever when they're punching punch bags? So when they've got normal gloves on, they can throw that fist proper quick. This to me kind of like the same sort of training. Train to fight on the ice and you're slipping everywhere underfoot. If you get on normal solid ground, you'll be able to throw your bloody punches really good. I don't know. So I wouldn't want to get into a fight with a notorious fighting hockey player. But anyway, right, I'm looking forward to this. I don't mind a bit of violence, you know. Watching it, as long as I'm not involved. I'm not young anymore. Right, let's get on with it. Anyway, too much talking.
Nin explains the code. The sport of ice hockey is the only sport on the planet that tolerates fighting and retribution, even though...
He was just about to say it then. Right, I won't pause it too much, I promise. Right, it's not allowed, is it? But yeah, it is. I don't see much of people trying to stop it every time I've seen it. I don't know. Pretend attempts of stopping it. But yeah. Oh, it weren't that long ago. It was a couple of years ago. Someone, during pandemic, are you allowed to say that on the internet? During the thing that happened where everyone got locked in their houses just about. Didn't some hockey player get his neck sliced? Or am I imagining that? Or did I dream it? No, someone jumped up and kicked him in the throat, didn't they, and cut his neck? Mental.
Nin explains the code. The sport of ice hockey is the only sport on the planet that tolerates fighting and retribution, even though there are sometimes the players take advantage of the network and make a statement. There are players should think that you will find
I'm sorry, but if me and the average guy watching this got on the ice and went to throw a punch, what's Newton's laws of physics? It makes you go back. If you try throwing a punch, I suppose that's why they're holding each other, isn't it? To make sure that I don't need the captions, I've turned them off quickly, I don't know why.
And the pettiness, a reflection of the emptiness. Hilarious, you think you're with my time, you're delirious, mysterious, because you are behind the fake exterior, inferior. You know I'll always be a bit superior. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words, you can say them back. I want you to feel free from the chains at last, and to believe in what you got, it was built to last. Yeah.
See, look, the ref's like, get on with it.
this is the code. The first rule of the code is that we do not talk about the code.
Right,
There is no official record of the
If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
They don't want to officially admit that the sport that the government isn't completely under their control. The players police the game as much as the referees do, and sometimes they police it other than too much. Rule 2. If you do something bad, expect to pay the price. 3. Do not target stars. The best players on most teams are the star players that score goals and assists. There is an unwritten gentleman's agreement that stipulates that if you don't hit our star player...
It goes a lot deeper than this. It goes a lot deeper than what I ever thought in this. So obviously you got the goons that out there fighting and that. You got that are protecting the good players, the people that actually can play the game. I just spat at the camera then, sorry. Yeah, I like the way it's all set up. But again, I've never watched any games of this. I've seen it on TV, bits of it, but usually what I've seen is fights on the news or whatever.
Players, we won't hit yours.
Yeah.
Let the stars
Star player.
let everyone else do their respective jobs. Should you unfairly target a star player, expect swift retribution as per
To
rule
yours.
2.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no
If
love
that star
for the
player
fake
2.
biz. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll
Generational
always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fake biz. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patent it. Being negative when you should be getting after it.
And you'll have
I
a
got
bullseye
facts
on
over
your back,
facts
just
over
like
tracks, this and
everyone
that,
else.
spitting slow, spitting fast. I could roast, I could gas, think I'm okay at last, but I don't know
There
if
is a
that can
property
erase all the
challenge
past and
someone
the
to
pettiness. A reflection of the emptiness,
something
hilarious. You think you're with my time, you're delirious, mysterious, because you are behind the fake exterior, inferior. You know I'll always be a bit
This is
superior.
cowardly,
Get off of
and
me,
Brian
this ain't no
Sanderson
humble
like this
brag. I want
will
you to
result in the
hear
opposing
words, you
team
can say
taking
them
notes.
back. I want you to feel
Expect
free
swift
from the
retribution
chains at
as
last,
per
and to
rule
believe
two.
in what you got, it was
Lots
built
of
to
it.
last, yeah.
Rule number 6. Pick on someone with old
See, I'm loving this, right? So let me know what teams have got the reputation for the best of looking after their star
I don't ever
players.
slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love
Big.
for the fakeness. If you want, I could play a
7.
million mind
Verbally
games, but
or
instead I say
physically
something
agreeable.
not illogical,
To
something not
challenge someone to a
illogical.
fight,
Rub it
it's
on and watch
important
it
to
go.
stand
Make
square
yourself
opposite the
unstoppable.
opposing.
Dreams are irresponsible, but
Gesture
they're
with the
always
hands,
possible.
the
If
helmet,
you just
or
believe,
start
you could
shaking
be
off
so
the words.
remarkable. Thoughts in my head, a collage in this thread. I'll be great one day, going off of my meds. No, I'm not giving up. No, I'm not giving in. I will make it to the
if you're
top,
wearing
taking
a
off.
cage or
Do I have to start watching?
I'm
It's fit
saving
to
every
remove
day
that
to taste
prior
it. I'm
to fighting
patient,
your
but my
opponents.
mind, it can hardly take
Fighting
it. I'm
with a
chasing a
half-visor,
dream that
maybe
I love
a
that.
little bit
ages
some,
of making. Modern
or
kingdom
leaves.
for the taking.
Listen, there's no real brutal mob mentality here whatsoever. Everything that I've seen here is all agreed and gentleman's way of doing things. I love it.
No, I don't take shit. I
Don't
got no
back
love.
down.
Absolutely not.
Chance to fight, especially if you have been caught in crime committed by gangs. It seems cowardly if you do not accept the challenge. Backing down is not cool. You will not and expect some.
And if you back down, you'll never sleep again. Whatever situation in life that is, don't back down ever. Unless I've got a gun to you, of course. I'm on about in gentleman offers. That sounded a bit gay, didn't it? I mean, gentleman offers in fight.
It is seen as cowardly if you do not accept
Not the joke wrong being gay. Shout out to all you guys, if any of you are.
the challenge. Backing down is not cool. You will not receive any brownie points from your teammates and expect some form of retribution sometime during the game, legal or not. Rule number 9. Do not turtle. Once you have engaged in a fight, it is not acceptable to turtle, i.e. curl up in a ball to avoid punches. This is seen as cowardly. You have accepted the challenge to fight, and fight you must.
It depends. If you curl up in a ball while there's just one person at you, then yeah, cowardly. Get up. But if you're getting shooted in by about, I don't know, 6 different bladed toes, then curl up a little bit. Because I think I would curl up if everyone had loads of blades next to my head.
Rule number 10. It is acceptable to premeditate fights. It is deemed courteous to politely ask a player if he wants to fight. Exhibit A, Georges Larac.
You want to? Okay. Square up? Okay, good luck, man.
This is the gentlemanly way of instigating a fight,
There we
and a
go.
fine example of good code etiquette. If a premeditated challenge is accepted, the gloves must come off and helmet visors removed before you fight.
Absolutely nothing wrong with
Respected
that.
enforcers will actually remove their helmets completely and roll up their sleeves. This is to protect their opponent's hands as well as their own. This is the ultimate mark of respect.
Now I'm actually
Rule
getting
11,
chills
do
from
not
this, you
push
know.
someone lying down. Once
I genuinely had no idea that hockey was like. So I knew there was a lot of fights, but I didn't realise the actual etiquette or etiquette.
hands as well as their own. This is the ultimate mark of respect. Rule number 11. You do not punch someone lying down. Once the fight has reached the ground, and one or both combatants have hit the ice, you must stop immediately. They are in a defenseless position. It is dishonourable to hit someone when they're down, especially
Definitely
if
don't
they
kick
can't
'em.
defend themselves. The punishment and retaliation for breaking this rule is severe. Rule number 12. You do not fight goalies unless you are a goalie or they instigate it. Goalies, like stars,
Don't bother. Sorry. Indigestion, I was going to bet. Goalies only can fight each other. They're right at the opposite end. But man, saying that, I've seen before when the goalies actually take the puck right down and score it, pot it, home run it, score it, put it in the goal, put it in the net. The puck in the net.
have a job to do, and it doesn't involve fighting. Unless they challenge you, unless you are a goalie or they instigate it. Goalies, like stars, have a job to do, and it doesn't involve fighting. Unless they challenge you and it's obvious that they're doing so, leave them well alone. That said, it is acceptable for both goalies to fight each other, even if no incident has happened between them. Rule number 13.
Fancy scrap.
Brawling is fair game.
And again, right, because you're doing this so gentlemanly, there's no hatred, they're just airing out the differences, putting on a show. I'm guessing it's expected a lot now these days because it's a part of the old institution of hockey, it seems. I bet they go for a drink afterwards, so I don't know, I bet there's no blood lost, as it were.
It is perfectly acceptable to retaliate to multiple infractions made by both sides. If every player steps in at once, it's fair game to challenge someone completely unrelated to the original altercation and fight with them. This is to prevent the opposing player from applying damage to your teammates and to temporarily eliminate them from the game by getting them and yourself sent to the penalty box. Rule number 14. Be wary of pests. A pest is a player whose sole job it is to antagonise and annoy you and your teammates in order to draw penalties. They will resort to anything from verbal abuse to underhand tactics to licking your face. They will most likely challenge you to a fight and then proceed to run away.
I'd rather
leaving
an
you
elbow
there
to the
instead of
face.
a penalty. Be cautious when you challenge them to a fight, because that's exactly what they want you to do. Rule number 15. The golden rule. You stand up for your teammates, whether it's your job or not.
Of course you do.
Whether you're an enforcer or not, if you are on the ice and foul play happens, you are expected to stand up for your teammates, regardless of size, weight or star power. These players will stand up for you, through thick and through thin, and it is seen as cowardly to not return the favour. Teammates will notice if you don't have their back, so be wary because one day, it might be you that needs the help. The most interesting thing is that the code is open to interpretation. No two players have the exact same interpretation of the code. But in general, these are the rules that ice hockey players live and die by, even if they're not written down.
I bet the fans go wild when they're in that spot when they come up against the glass.
When
Oh,
regular
perspex.
rules aren't enforced properly, the code dictates how justice is served. In conclusion, there are some amazingly talented players in the sport of ice hockey, and there are people whose job it is to protect them. These men and women have given up being stars themselves, taken lower paychecks, significantly shortened their own careers, and risked their lives and future health, all to protect their teammates when the rules of the game fail to do so. These are noble warriors who will fight with honour and within the unwritten rules of the game. They deserve our absolute respect because they are the enforcers of the code.
Guys, thank you
Super
very much for
enjoyed that.
watching this video. I'm this
Go on,
close to
mate.
over 100,000 subscribers, so if you haven't already, like, share and subscribe, please share and subscribe, and help me get
And
over that
subscribe and
100k
like.
mark. And if you already are a subscriber, let me know in the comment section below what you think of this video. Did I miss out various rules? Do you think I got any of them wrong? And
It was very interesting, that's all I know. Right, thank you, Kelly Chanel. for suggesting that, and a few others agreed with her on doing that. Again, obviously, I'm in my bloody mid-40s here, and I thought I knew hockey. Actually, no, I didn't think I knew hockey. I didn't realise hockey was quite noble. That's the only word I can think of now. It's a noble sport, isn't it? I don't know why, but if someone said to me, name a noble sport, for some reason I'd want to say rugby, because that's what posh people play. But not that posh people are noble. It's the closest thing I can think of. But no, I did the actual unwritten rules of the violence in it. Obviously, I knew there was violence in it, because every time I've seen a hockey, it's involved violence. But yeah, it makes so much sense. But I love the fact that they were like, yeah, you want a quick fight? But I'm guessing it happens at 99 out of 100 events that a little punch-up happens. It must do. It must do. Because the fans want it now. It's a part of the institution by the seams of things. But yeah, I probably enjoyed that. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed it too, give us a thumbs up if you want to. Put stuff in the comments for me to read and react to, and consider subscribing. That'd massively help me out. I really do appreciate the lot of you. I read all my comments and stuff. I really enjoy reading the comments, to be fair. Enjoy the rest of your day. Have a good one. Goodbye. Bye-bye.